I cried so much that day. Just listen to the music. I remember I sat, I stood, I rested my head on the stereo, and I just cried like a baby. And that was therapy for me. And I said, oh my God, that was a talented young man to put those words together. And he had a beautiful voice. I love his voice and the way he came off. You know, I appreciated him as an artist and as my...
Before her passing, Miss Voletta Wallace carried the deep pain of losing her only son, Christopher Wallace, known to the world as Biggie Smalls. They say time heals all wounds, but how do you truly heal from the loss of a child, especially when so many questions remain unanswered? Ms. Wallace spent years seeking the truth about what really happened the night Biggie died. Some believe that individuals close to him may have had knowledge or involvement in the events that led to his tragic death. There have even been claims that her efforts to uncover the truth were met with resistance from powerful figures in the music industry. While nothing has been definitively proven, her unwavering pursuit of justice speaks to the depth of her love and the strength of a mother determined to find answers.
Big was showing me a contract because I was saying to Big, Big was like, yo, Gene, I like you, I would take you with me, bro, but you love that too much. I said, love that much? What the fuck you? I love it. He said, yeah, you love him too much, bro. I would take you with me. I said, nigga, how you gonna take me with you and you broke? He said, I'm broke. I said, yeah, broke, man. You owe Mike Gadget $30,000 for the system and them drop boxes he put in your truck. And he was like, yo, how you know that? I said, talk and run their mouth big. Yo, he said, oh. He said, but I'm about to get this money. So he showed me, I said, you about to get that money? He said, yeah, look at this. It had Charlie Baltimore, Cameron, Little C's, Little Kim, Junior Mafia, Tracy, I don't know, Tracy Murray?
Tracy Lee.
Tracy Lee, and the commission. And I think the contract was for so many years for like 62 million, it comes out to like $62 million. I was like, that's what I said.
But everyone knew that Ms. Voletta Wallace was not the kind of woman who could be easily silenced, especially when it came to her son. Her strength and determination were undeniable. Behind the scenes, it's been said that aside from Diddy, there was another person she allegedly had reservations about, Faith Evans. While the full truth may never be known, it's clear that Ms. Wallace remained cautious about those who were once closest to Biggie.
That's hilarious. You wanted Grammys, but you settled for ghostwriting for a whore like Mary J. Blige. That's hilarious.
With new developments in the case emerging regularly, many now believe that the truth about what really happened to Christopher Wallace, Biggie, may finally come to light. Sadly, Ms. Voletta Wallace is no longer here to witness that moment, but if justice is eventually served, it will still carry meaning for those who loved and respected her son. One thing that has become more evident over the years is that Biggie was planning to part ways with Bad Boy Records, a move that reportedly wasn't well received. According to a Rolling Stone expose on Seeing Diddy Comms, multiple sources claim that Biggie and Diddy were not on the best of terms during the final chapter of Biggie's life. After Biggie's passing, some say there was a noticeable shift at Bad Boy, with greater focus placed on the commercial success of life after death than on honoring Biggie's memory. Diddy was reportedly determined to ensure the album's success, which raised questions about his priorities during that time. Former Bad Boy executive Kurt Burrows recalled an incident involving Rolling Stone magazine. He said the magazine wanted to honor Biggie with a cover story, and he urged Diddy to allow the focus to remain on Biggie's legacy. However, Diddy allegedly insisted on sharing the spotlight to promote his debut album No Way Out. As a result, the July 1997 cover featured Diddy under the headline Puff Daddy, the new king of hip-hop. In the same article, it was noted that 2 years later, Diddy gave an interview where he acknowledged that Biggie's death brought a wave of attention and commercial success. He reportedly said, I think his passing added to the fame, and it was estimated that about 2 million of the 5 million No Way Out albums sold may have been influenced by the tragedy. Burroughs also suggested that Diddy may have felt some tension about Biggie's bond with Tupac Shakur. Allegedly, Diddy had hoped to develop a friendship with Tupac, but Tupac reportedly kept his distance due to personal disagreements. Some believe that the well-known conflict between Biggie and Tupac was made worse by pressures behind the scenes. For example, Diddy is said to have supported Biggie releasing the track, Who Shot Ya?, which many interpreted as a diss toward Tupac. Ms. Wallace herself seemed to understand that the feud between the two artists may not have reflected their true feelings. Over the years, she remained firm in her belief that her son was wrong and that his passing was not a random act. In her 2005 book, Biggie, Valletta Wallace remembers her son Christopher. She reflected on the early days of his career, writing, "The truth is, Christopher accepted the illusion of a friend and mentor for about $25,000. That was a lot of money for him back then. He had never seen that much at once. It was enough to make my son believe someone was ready to do anything for him. It was enough to buy blind love and loyalty." In a separate interview with the Daily Mail, Ms. Wallace opened up about the deep pain she and her family carried. "It hurts me every single day to know what happened to Christopher, and that I won't see him again. His sister, Tuliana, hurts every day too. As a family, we've grieved, and it doesn't ever get better. Any mother who has lost a child knows this pain. It's the worst pain in the world. He was so young, so talented, and his life was taken far too soon. It's unnecessary that he died at just 24. He was my baby." She also expressed concern about how the investigation was handled. Ms. Wallace believed the LAPD knew who was responsible but chose not to take further action. "I have a very good idea who took Christopher's life, and I genuinely believe the LAPD knows too. They've done their investigation, but they refuse to move forward. I don't know why they haven't made any arrests. It seems like a larger cover-up, like someone is being protected." Ms. Wallace's participation in the film City of Lies stemmed from her commitment to accountability. The film focused on the alleged obstruction that prevented justice. She explained, "I have strong hope. I don't care if it takes 40 years for the truth. Someone must be held accountable." There were people in powerful positions who tried to shut down the case to protect their own interests. They didn't want to expose the wrongdoing within the department. They just wanted to protect their pensions. They shelved the real investigation. She also paid tribute to the late Detective Russell Poole, who dedicated himself to uncovering the truth and sadly passed away while still seeking justice. Russell died exposing them. He was a man of his word. His wife said he died of a broken heart because he didn't see justice. All he saw was corruption and lies. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Ms. Wallace reaffirmed her determination to keep fighting for the truth. "As long as I have life, there's hope. I'll never give up. And I hope when I'm not in this world anymore, my friends and family will carry on the fight. There is always hope." Though she never named anyone directly, many interpreted her words as pointing toward individuals within Biggie's inner circle. She seemed aware of the speculation that Biggie had begun taking more control over his career, and that some feared what that shift might mean. Ms. Wallace carried that weight with strength and grace, and while she may not be here to see justice fully served, if the truth does come to light, it will serve as a powerful testament to her courage, her unwavering love for her son, and her refusal to let his legacy fade.
The whole thing about it is that it was somebody in our crew that wanted them to know that Big was in that vehicle. And to separate it, that's where you get there was more than one people trying to kill us. You understand?
You're right.
That's where you get that at, brother. That there was more than one, different people was trying to kill us. Because somebody wanted to know, yo, if y'all gonna get big, you go to the car with the stickers on.
But it goes even deeper than that because it seems likely that Diddy wasn't acting alone. Some people believe that Faith Evans may have known more about what happened to Biggie, which could explain why she has continued to support Diddy when it comes to discussions about Biggie's death.
I know is that Puff would never have Big. Puff would never be involved in fucking one of his best friends. That's outside of him being his artist. You know what I'm saying? That was like, you know, their relationship was something that I don't have that relationship with Puff. So, you know, that's never been something that.
Of course, it seems surprising that Faith Evans would describe Biggie and Diddy as being extremely close, especially when others have suggested otherwise. This raises questions about what she might actually know. Jaguar Wright, for instance, has publicly criticized Faith, claiming she wasn't as devoted to Biggie as she appeared to be. According to Jaguar, Faith may have had feelings for Tupac rather than Biggie, despite being married to him. Jaguar even suggested that Faith may have been romantically involved with both Tupac and Biggie around the same time and alleged there were witnesses from Death Row who saw Faith and Tupac together in a recording studio. She claimed there were even photos, although nothing has been publicly confirmed. You can only imagine how difficult all this must have been for Biggie's mother, Valletta Wallace, if any of it were true. Jaguar also expressed the belief that Valletta may have preferred Lil' Kim over Faith as a daughter-in-law, claiming that she suspected Faith wasn't truly supportive of Biggie. As for whether Ms. Wallace ever confronted Faith about any of this, there's no confirmed information. However, some believe she was aware that her son's passing was the result of something deeper, and that she may have been discouraged from speaking out. If that's the case, and if more details come out during any upcoming trials, it could change the way many people view these events. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.